some of the info you see out there about Kanye's new album, Change, is true and some of it is wrong. So today I wanted to give you a full overview of all the new leaks and info that we got about this new Kanye album. So let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe and become part of this community. Oh, and also go cop that fresh merch and listen to my new songs in the description. So we got to start out with the basics, with the recap over what I went into in the latest video on this, which is his retreat to Japan after the, infamous InfoWars appearance that he had, where he made a couple of statements that weren't so well received by the public, but a couple of people, including Ty Dolla $ign, also Casey, have been spotted with Kanye, or at least hinted at working with him in Japan, in Tokyo. Also, pictures of him and Bianca Sensory have surfaced that feature him being in Japan. So it seems like this time Japan is the retreat, like Hawaii was for My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, or Wyoming was for Ye. Also, you can't forget Ruga, who talked about Kanye working on a new album, as well as a quote from Kim Kardashian in this US Weekly magazine, whatever that was called, where she talked about Kanye having an album on the way and working on that right now. Also, you can't forget Elon Musk, giving praise to the album Ye, which I thought was really random, but it's kind of a nice moment. So that leads us to today and the past couple of days, basically, where we've gotten a bunch of new info for a Kanye album that we got to take a look at now. So let's start with the first big thing that was kind of thrown into the internet and later kind of paddled back a little bit, but let's take a look at the screenshot right here that we've gotten on the subreddit that has now gotten disproven, but still we need to take a look at this to understand the rest of the info. So this right here is a screenshot of some DMs, I think in Instagram, where we can see the picture of Emmett Till, and it says Change October release. Anything else you can provide or share, I should say? And then the last message that we can see is enjoy the rollout, 2 weeks. And this was like 2 days ago, 2-3 days ago that we got this. So this would mean we would have this album cover of Emmett Till, which is again like, Kanye, why do you need to do this? The album would be called Change. It would release in October, and the rollout would start in 2 weeks, which would give us almost 2 months of rollout, which is a lot. But I guess, that could be. Thankfully, though, some of this got disproven by Insurge, who you might know as an insider in the Kanye community on Reddit, on the good-ass sub Reddit, that kind of gave us more information on the album, which doesn't disprove all of this, but at least kind of puts it into perspective. So let's take a look at that. So on the Yeezy Discord server, we got some info that puts this information into some perspective. So let's go through this because there's quite a bunch. You may have seen the tweets about this, but let's go through this together and talk about each point and what that means for the album. So first of all, it says Change was the name of the album at some point, but apparently the name Change was changed, pun intended. So now it's not going to be called Change anymore. The next point is a large My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy level of tracks have been finished. And by that level of tracks, I guess they're alluding to them being very complex, a bunch of features on them, sounding very grand. And I guess that's a good thing, but also Donda sounded like that. I mean, a bunch of Kanye albums after that sounded like those grand big songs from My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Anyway, there's more of like a hype to get the people hyped, but still. Good news. Then it says many songs from the album are taken from older eras, none from any project worked on in 2022. So for all the people out there that thought that Donda 2 would still see the light of day, this is kind of a disprovement of that. The next point here is album style is a mix of The College Dropout and The Life of Pablo and a little bit of Turbo. So even that first combination of The College Dropout and The Life of Pablo is already a little weird, but what you might not know is that TurboGrafx 16 was a Kanye album that, again, like many others, like Yandhi, got scrapped, but there's a bunch of great material on there that is unreleased, we haven't heard. I think there's a full version of this on YouTube, so if you want it, you can go check out that unreleased Kanye album. It's more of like a arcade sound, but it sounds pretty good. So I guess that's good. But this is a weird combination of those three. I don't quite see where this is going yet. The next point is already like Yeah, it's Kanye has controversial but not anti-Semitic mentions of Jewish people on the album. So we're again talking about this. It says that they're controversial but not anti-Semitic. I'm just going to leave it at that. We have to see what this means. That's not good news, though. Next up says, Ye's verses are high energy and the album has insane features. So maybe that also alludes to those My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy level of tracks. A lot of the recent Ye features have been him just mumbling over a beat and people praising that. I don't, see his latest features as that good if we're talking about maybe that Fabio track or something like that. So this is good news that they're high energy. Usually that brings the best out of Kanye, so happy to see that. The next point is Ye has a plan for when the album will be released. So this doesn't directly allude to the point of it being, in October or the rollout releasing in 2 weeks. It could be, but it also couldn't be. It doesn't directly disprove that, so that's still a possibility. Next up, though, it says Emmett Till cover was fake, which is good because that would have just been an unnecessary, addition to it. Then it also says music for the album is heartfelt like Runaway, maybe a couple of personal things he's talking about, so that's pretty good. Then it says Ye, Ty Dolla $ign and Opium had a studio session together, so we knew about Ty Dolla $ign, but apparently Opium, so Cardi, Ken, Lone, Homicide Gang, they're also working, together with Ye. I don't know what that means. I don't know what sound that Ye could bring out of them, but I'm here for it. And the last point on this list is some track lists have half new tracks and half from older eras, some almost entirely new tracks. So I guess it's going to be somewhat of a mixing and matching of a couple of the things that were left over, not from Dawn to 2, but from other stuff and some new stuff. Now, as I said, take this with a grain of salt though, because this is just from the leaker Insurge, and a bunch of people wrote essays already about why Insurge is lying and why he's just trying to psyop us into believing that this is true. We've had other reliable sources in the Kanye community, talk out on this and say that this is all fake. So take this with a grain of salt, but apparently something is happening. I can't forget to mention that Kanye recently came out for Travis Scott at the Circus Maximus concert in Italy, and the two of them talked about having a tour together, which is pretty amazing news. So that's something that I wanted to add. Also, what I wanted to add as kind of a bad news about this is that if those leaks are true, they could cause a delay in the rollout because Kanye and his team usually don't like info or news getting leaked before they themselves leak it, and so that could kind of cause a delay. But I'm not trying to jinx this right here, but I'm just saying, be careful with it. But that's it for the Kanye news. Let me know what y'all think about this. When do you think this album is releasing? What do you think its name and title will be? And what do you think we're going to see on there? Is this going to be a My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy? Is this about the Kanye cycle, about the controversy, retreat, and then comeback? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.